Okay. Hey, I'm in it. Oh, for shit's sakes. Okay. Gary Linkov. This is my review of his review. If we can even do this. He talks about her widow's peak here. Oh, what the fuck? All right. I'm telling you right now, this chick gets in the Oval Office. That's it. All I can say is enjoy, because this country is over. P.S. By the way, the same thing happened to me in 2020. I can't access anything on my computer. And that's not, I'm just going to do the video as best I can on this old thing. I just tried to once before. But this chick was born October 20th, 1964, 2 days after my little sister. She is a boomer. She's not some new generation, blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm saying. Let's go over the boomer presidents. The first one, Bill Clinton. Okay. The second one, George W. Bush. The third one, Barack Hussein Obama, who was born in 1961. Okay? He is about, say, 2 years plus months older than her. This ain't no new generation bullshit. Joe Biden, why the hell they put him up as president and forged that? Why? He should have never been there. I still think Obama's running the entire DNC, and he is evil. And the amount of shit that is going to come out, hopefully, even and right now, even if it doesn't, this country needs serious attention and fast. We are at the highest crime rates ever in the city I'm in. Shit is out of control. The people in positions, the higher positions of government, are like Gen Xers, millennials. I mean, they're okay. Let's focus on this video. And he goes into this stupid, her widow's peak. I mean, honestly, who cares? Who walks around? Nah, never mind.
Of natural aging, makeup techniques, or perhaps even plastic surgery. All estimated costs.
All right, come on, let's go, Bob. Grapes, I shouldn't have touched it.
Some people, the center is not as.
You know, I don't really think that the little piece of hair there. He's bald, so who cares about that? I shouldn't have even touched this thing. Ugh. Did my video just stop being recorded or what? Okay, let's just hang together and see what happens, or I'll have to start it again.
Both men and women. I'm noticing that there are some signs of brow descent in this photo, especially when you compare back to her.
All right, right years. Here.
And
right
we
here.
know that there are signs of
right here. Teenage years. She was born in 1964. She turned 20 in 1984. The additional 6 years in the 1980s were not her teenage years. Stop making it look, she wasn't a teenager. She was a teenager for like 4 years in the 80s. And you guys are thinking, well, this is stupid. It's not important. It is to me. Because she was a teen and then she turned 20. But quite frankly, for me, if you're 18 years old and an adult, technically you're still a teenager, but you're an adult. So she turned into an adult in 1982, which would have been, she was still over in Canada. And suddenly the private school she went to has been scrubbed. Because I looked that up a couple months ago. I thought nothing of it. And I can't remember the name of it. It was Catholic school. So no, Gary Linkov. You're off. And everybody looks younger. If this is her high school graduation picture, it's pretty normal for 19, what would it have been? 81, 82. You know, it's all pixelated, like they couldn't get a better picture of her. Then again, it was a long time ago, because this broad is going on 7 years old, okay? I'm sorry. I mean, she is. Well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. She's going to be 60. So, whoops, scratch that. I'm thinking of BHO. All right, let's continue. If this damn thing will let me. Excuse my bitchiness.
Aging that can be seen in all of us in as early as our late 20s. And especially as we hit our 30s, we start to see parts of the face starting to descend. Kamala has good medial cheek volume, and she has less of that cheek volume the more lateral you move.
Okay, these are implants. This is in 2001. Or it could just be, I don't know, but okay, this Gary Linkov guy, he is so creepy. He looks like a corpse. He doesn't have any hair. He doesn't have eyebrows. He doesn't have hair. So he wears a surgical cap called field. This guy, this is Gary Linkov is the reason why doctors are so shitty right now. I'm sorry, I'm super bitchy.
Cheek volume, and she has less of that cheek volume the more lateral you move.
Hey Gary, would you ever say anything negative about her? Ugh. Cripes, if I wasn't going through a trial and an illness right now, if I could show you some pictures. When I was 50, I was dating a 30-year-old dude, and he did not believe I was 50, and he thought I was 40 or something, and he wouldn't leave me alone, and he just made it very clear that, and I quote, "I want to hang out with you, blah, blah, blah," and finally, he said, "Well, I don't believe you, you're telling me how," finally he said, "I want to see your ID," so I showed him, he said, "Oh." I said, "Well, let me see yours too." He had just turned 30 a month earlier. So now when I look at myself, well, at the moment, I had a rough, I've had, I've been in the hospital and quite severely injured and ill for 2 solid years. And that, if you want to know what takes a toll on you, and probably half of it is all in my head anyway. I was just at my neurologist's office 2 weeks ago, and she said, and I don't think she was just being nice either. She asked me, she said, "You really don't look insert age." And I'm like, get out. You're just saying that, But we kind of have, she's a Gen Xer, and we kind of have like a back and forth kind of fun, good relationship. Well, she's a nurse practitioner. But she didn't have to say that. And I don't even know why I told her, I was concerned about my health and my age and how, typically people that abuse their bodies and can't work out and do all this crap tend to have health problems. And I'm concerned that that this accident basically has cut my life short by like 20 years. My family usually always lives to at least 90, if not close to a fucking 100. Excuse me, I'm you know what? And I am bitchier than fuck today. And I have reasons to be. Let's continue. And honestly, I talked to my attorney about coming public with my whole situation, and he recommended I wait. Um, but I am about ready to explode right now. But let's continue with. I don't think she. I mean, she just looks. You know. I mean, you have to remember if you can go to. Okay, let's think about this, especially in the early 2000s. Okay, say in the early 2000s, I'd say from 90. When was the first time I went? Okay, actually, all right, let's say from 1998 to Obama, when all the skincare products were taken off the market, which I'm still PO'd about. You could go to a dermatologist's office and for, $40, get microdermabrasion, not the kind they use now with baking soda or something. I mean, a real or a chemical peel. Um, Neostrata had one. I can't remember the name of it. It was pretty big. And you could go to a doctor's office, and for like $45, you could have a peel done, especially if you had problem skin, oily skin, acne skin, which I was having some issues. And someone recommended it. So it was actually at a clinic at a hospital. And I came out and I must have looked 10 years younger. And then, every 6 months to a year, I would do something like that. And boy, did that ever make a difference. And now all this shit has been banned. You can't even buy a damn facial scrub anymore that's not. Honestly, my skin felt so built up today. You're not even going to believe this. I actually used dishwashing liquid. I actually just used a little bit in my hand and put it on my face to try to get, because it's been like 80 degrees out. It's very humid. It's 100% humidity. And just to get, and it was actually fine. I didn't have any irritation or any problems from it. I mean, my skin might be a little red, but it's not, weird, or it's not like damaging. It doesn't hurt. That type of thing. That's what I've resorted to. But this, so at the time that this picture was taken in 2001, she had, and plus she was being given money and gifts and presents and Burberry boots and shoes and coats and BMWs. This is what this guy, this Willie Brown dude, the mayor of San Fran, was giving her. He was giving her gifts. Plus, they worked for the government and they were probably going into the till and money laundering and God knows what else. But that'll never come out because she was top dog. I'm so sick of these people. I could barf my brains out.
Along the zygomatic arch. When she smiles, you have nearly full upper tooth show visible, and her cupid's bow is quite well defined. But in contrast to the cupid's bow, the actual philtral columns are less defined. Kamala also has a strong chin, and you'll see why that's relevant later on in this video. In 2003, at the age of 39, what you see here is good supratarsal show with some lateral upper eyelid hooding.
All right.
And this is related to that lateral brow descent.
All right. She has a fat face. Was this 2003? What the hell are her brows like that for? She has like a few false eyelashes put in on the top, none on the bottom, almost like she has non-existent lashes. She clearly had her teeth whitened. You have to remember, my husband's father and brother are dentists, and he used to get all this stuff for free. And that was actually really expensive back then too. It's much more affordable right now, but it's not as good. but my brother had all the, it was with my brother, it was almost like Ross on Friends. You were like, oh my God, you had to stand back a few feet. Um, fuck. But yeah, and my teeth were just okay then. They were fine. They didn't, they were normal. They weren't. No one has teeth this white. I mean, some people do, but it got to a point at the time these pictures were taken where it would be kind of over the top, or you'd have veneers or something, which was becoming more and more common. So, plus, she's, again, born in 1964. She would have had at least a few mercury fillings. Don't you fucking tell me you didn't, girlfriend. Like I said, I know everything about my sister, who happened to pass away, but that's beside the point. I mean, we shared a room at our house in northern Wisconsin. We shared a double bed. We did several times. We'd hang out and we'd get a hotel room somewhere, and we'd be like, high or something from going to a club, and we'd be like, well, we only have one bed, so okay, that's fine. It was no big deal. We were close. So, she's only like a couple of years younger than me. So don't give me the bullshit where I don't know what's going on with someone her age. Gary Linkoff, you weirdo.
That we talked about previously. As the eyebrow, especially the lateral portion, starts to gradually droop, it brings the upper eyelid
What eyebrow?
And what that creates is increased eyelid hooding. Sometimes it's the skin itself that's starting to stretch out, but in these earlier years, it's more that the lateral eyebrow is starting to slowly droop. I'm also seeing a scar on the right lateral orbital rim. It's unclear what might have caused this, but there is that small scar there, and we'll see it present in later years as well. And now in her late 30s, you're starting to see some lower facial laxity. The ligaments of the face will gradually loosen, and you can see that starting to happen.
Yeah, she's chunky.
Here. In 2004, at the age of 40, what we see here is under-eye hollowing, and that is sometimes referred to as a tear trough. Now, that is in part caused by some of the fat content in this area starting to slowly diminish. And what that leads to is a distinction between the actual lower eyelid and the cheek itself. Some will look to correct this with fillers, while others might get a lower blepharoplasty to reduce that distinction between those two areas. But that is a delicate area, and it must be handled with care. And in this profile view, what I'm seeing is some minor nasal convexity. And what that really means is an upper nasal hump. It's rather small in Kamala's case, and it's not too obvious, but it is there, and I think it brings some nice naturality to the area. Some people look to reduce that hump as part.
Looks like she's got something growing out of her nose. Oh, come on, go.
Of a rhinoplasty, while other people get rhinoplasty surgery for, say, the tip of their nose, but they actually don't want the hump addressed because they feel that it connects them to their roots, to their culture, and just gives them that distinctive appearance. So everyone has a different opinion on how they feel about their hump. Personally, I'm very happy with my nasal hump. In 2005, at the age of 41, that scar that I mentioned previously is more visible in these images. Scars on the face can be addressed in different ways. Sometimes people go for laser resurfacing, that can help, but you have to be sure that the type of laser is properly picked to match the skin type of the person. Also, the depth of the scar might change your treatment of choice. Other times, when the scar is too wide or too deep, we might address it with a surgical excision and revision of that area. Other techniques for scar could include microneedling, and some people are even applying exosomes topically to help with improving the quality of the scar. Sometimes in more delicate parts of the face, we might employ fat transfer techniques where we benefit from the stem cells that are in the fat to help rejuvenate the quality of the skin, in addition to allowing the filler component of the fat to improve the contour of that scarred region. In 2006, at the age of 42, I see no change. And in 2007,
see no change? She looks like she had an eye lift.
At the age of 43, what we see here,
okay, she basically is nuts looking,
are those natural forehead rhytids or wrinkles. They're running perpendicular to the actual fibers of the forehead muscle called the frontalis muscle. Some people end up getting Botox or other neurotoxins to reduce the appearance of those wrinkles or to sometimes eliminate them. But as you introduce neurotoxin to the forehead muscle, you have to keep in mind that that's the only muscle that actually lifts the eyebrows. So if you go to paralyze it, that might actually weaken the eyebrows, giving you some brow descent or ptosis. And for some people, they rather not have the brows descend down, so they avoid the frontalis, and other people will actually inject smaller doses to the forehead to try to not paralyze it too much, but sometimes that can have a paradoxical type of effect in that you'll try to work harder to raise those eyebrows, and in so doing you actually create more wrinkles. So there is some controversy on whether or not the frontalis muscle should be treated with neurotoxin. And that discussion came up in my podcast with Dr. Doris Day. So if you're interested in learning more about that, make sure to check out our podcast.
This is more like
in
an
2008,
infomercial.
At the age of 44, when you look at the midface, you can see that there are some signs of general volume depletion. Remember that the two main ways that we show aging in the face is first the descent of the tissues, and that has to do with gravity, of course, and the second is volume depletion, as we lose those qualities to our skin.
You know, I really appreciate what he's saying, but he's going into detail and, you know, talking about other areas. We want to know specifically about this bitch, not about other shit. And even what he's getting into, other people would disagree with him. Look at these fangs that he's got, okay? Oh.
To the muscle, to the bone, that at a younger age
right, I'm going to tell you right
vitality.
now, she clearly had an eye lift. Okay? Her eyes are lifted. and if you're trying to tell me she didn't, this is crazy. All he's doing is saying, well, this is what we can do, and this is this, and we're seeing this, and we're seeing that. God, why did I ever even start doing this? She clearly had some lip filler done.
As we grow older, the integrity of those tissues starts to weaken. And you can see that Kamala has upper tooth show on repose. So when she just parts her lips like this, you can see some upper teeth. And that gives off the appearance of a more youthful face. In 2009, at the age of 45, I'm seeing that Kamala is starting to overline her upper lip with makeup. When you compare back to 2001, her upper lip looks a bit fuller.
What? Oh, it's just...
But I think this is less likely to be filler based on some of her more recent photos. I think instead of filler,
right, she is insane. And she has so much skin and so much crap going on here, it's not funny.
Just chose to use makeup to overline that upper lip.
Well, how do you know that?
The appearance
looks
of
to me
a
like she had
fuller,
fillers.
taller upper lip instead of going the route of filler. As you know from my other videos, a lip lift can also increase the overall.
If you think this chick didn't have plastic surgery,
or wrinkles forming in the neck, this is sometimes. these horizontal neck rhytids, or wrinkles forming in the neck. This is sometimes improved with a facelift procedure, but usually it doesn't completely get rid of these horizontal lines. Some people are just more prone to getting them, and one approach to help reduce the depth of those lines is the use of filler. But no matter what technique you use, those lines are difficult to completely resolve. And just like we talked about the horizontal wrinkles of the forehead being formed perpendicular to the fibers of the frontalis muscle, so too, when you look at the neck and you look at the fibers of the platysma muscle, these horizontal wrinkles are running perpendicular to that neck muscle. In 2011, at the age of 47, I'm seeing some signs here of potential veneers. This is a very common procedure to help correct some dental imperfections and to also give a different coloration to the teeth themselves.
I'm going to go ahead and say I totally...
At the age of 48, what I wanted to point out teeth themselves. In 2012,
I totally disagree with that. And then she starts to look more black.
The age of 48, what I wanted to point out here is Kamala's excellent skin quality. Remember that the darker one's skin is, the more melanin it contains.
All right, listen.
Melanin, in turn, protects us from harmful UV radiation. That leads to fewer wrinkles.
Okay. Now I'm just ticked off. Nope. What does this look like to you? I mean, just, let's talk about it. Is this black chick from the hood? Like, what religion do you think these people are practicing? Does she practice any religion? And no, I don't think I disagree with him on the teeth issue. I mean, she's always had teeth like that. The tooth issue, she probably had braces or something when she was younger. And her hair is like this because she probably had a perm, no doubt, especially in her high school photo, because everybody had a perm then, like everyone. Doesn't this gentleman look like a nice, fun, easygoing person? Oh, I can only imagine how much Wikipedia has changed her mom's page. I can't even get into it. But I mean, let's just not forget this. This is who she is. And this looks very early 90s-ish because of the red lipstick, because you can't buy red lipstick anymore that's any decent red lipstick anymore because of Obama. Something like that. So she's got lash extensions, probably mink ones, I'm assuming. And she's got some weird chin shit going on. And she's got some weird neck shit going on. But she hides it with her eye lift because she had one. Linkoff. And she's got all kinds of extensions that seem to go quite well with her eyes.
and improved overall skin quality.
Come on,
But no
Smoke.
matter how much melanin someone has, sun protection is still very important. And great skincare is also very important. And for the best skin
Oh my God, is he going to advertise skincare set? You see what I'm saying?
care products, make
You
sure
know,
to
this
check
guy just sucks. He just did this as an infomercial for his own techniques.
out our Feel Confident products.
Oh, you're killing
in
me.
2013, at the age of 49, I see no change. In 2014, at the age of 50,
Okay, I want to die. I mean, excuse me. This guy's crazy.
when I look at Kamala's left eyebrow, what I see is that the body and the tail of the brow don't have much hair. She may be using makeup or microblading to help recreate the appearance of a fuller brow. Some people also get eyebrow hair extensions or, in some cases, eyebrow hair transplants to bring hair back to the eyebrows.
Oh my
And when I
God.
look back at her photos, it looks like at least since 2001 there's been a hair deficiency in that area. Now, this could be from several different potential causes. One is just not being born with much hair in the mid to lateral eyebrow. Some people get eyebrow alopecia from overplucking, while others might experience some traumatic event like a deep cut on the eyebrow that then leaves them with some hair loss. Yet other people have some thyroid deficiencies that might lead to a thinner eyebrow. And conditions like mine, alopecia areata, can also sometimes affect the eyebrows. There are also some scarring alopecias like frontal fibrosing alopecia that leads to the hairline.
I did not know he had a disease, so I want to apologize in advance here for what I said.
Getting higher, as well as the eyebrows thinning. In 2015, at the age of 51, I see...
You know, every single picture he's showing of her is completely airbrushed and touched up to the point of a joke. It's almost like I can't even watch this anymore because it's just, these aren't even normal natural pictures of her. I want to see her at her job, in her office, doing her thing. I apologize for...
And in 2016, at the age of 52, I also see no change. In 2017, at the age of 53, what we see when we look at Kamala's forehead is that the...
I thought she was a teenager in her 80s.
The rhytids, or the wrinkles, are now becoming more static. So previously, they were just there when she animated.
Okay, I'm going to have to plug this in, and we're going to have to stop here. And, yeah, we're going to leave here. And screen recorder.